Hey guys, I'm going to do a quick video review of my new Champion Power Equipment pressure washer. 3,200 pounds of water pressure at 2.4 gallons per minute. We'll see how she does. I'm replacing an old Sears Craftsman that my father-in-law had got me. Worked great for years. Did a bunch of price shopping, was thinking about buying something a little more expensive. Seen the Champion brand in their generators at the auto parts store. I've had good feedback. So we're going to give this Champion pressure washer a try. I already did the unboxing, real simple, straightforward. The handle just snaps on, kind of like an umbrella stand. I had to add two 10mm bolts to put this piece of plastic on that holds the pressure wand. And in the back here, you'll see there's a little hose holder. And I put these 10mm bolts on to hold the little hose holder. So really that's all the setup except for the engine. And I'm an engine kind of guy. Read the instructions carefully. Conventional 10W30 oils, all that's required. It doesn't need to be synthetic. They recommend not breaking it in with synthetic. Capacity is about 0.6 liters. So not a lot of oil. I actually used a bottle marked in liters. And I carefully read the instructions. A couple of good products that I use when I'm using all my outdoor equipment. I put it in my boat and I put it in the lawnmower. I use a lot of Lucas products and a lot of Stable products. So I actually used the Lucas break-in. It's kind of designed for hot rods, typical engines. Another product I use in all my fuels is Stabilizer. I only use non-ethanol fuel in all of my small equipment. I'll go out of my way to make sure I can get the right gas. I use some Stable Marine grade, the blue stuff, and some Stable 360. Great deal on this at Advance Auto Parts. It was buy one get one free, so that was about $8. I got two for $8. This is a little expensive, but it's great for break-in. I've built a few engines in my day. It's a great product. I'm going to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully with the break-in. I have already started the engine once, followed those instructions carefully, but I want to show you these products. And again, the owner's manual. You never throw away your owner's manual. A lot of learning to be done. Kind of flipped through the owner's manual at first. I'm familiar with equipment, plugged it all in. So the pressure washer was straightforward. I assembled the hose holder. I assembled this little holder for the wand. Familiarize myself with the machine. It does need gasoline. I only use non-ethanol fuel with a little bit of good quality additive. Starting the machine was pretty straightforward. It did take me 3 pulls on the first try. I missed the choke, so owner's manual is good to have. On the front of the machine, you'll see all the controls, and there's really 3 things you'd want to be worried about. There is an on-off switch, and it must be in the up position. And that leaves the ignition on, so it'll start and run. And then you have a throttle control, and you have the choke control down here, which I didn't fully hit on my first crank. So it took about 3 pulls to start it. Again, I already have started it once. When we start it again, that'll be my second start. We'll see what happens. Very important with a pressure washer, you're going to fill the pump with water. Here's the pump section back here. I read the instructions. It's got a permanently sealed bearing. When a pump like this works, they work great for years. When a pump like this fails, there's no rebuilding a pump like this. You'd be replacing the part. Non-serviceable bearing does bother me a little bit, but modern stuff with machining makes it a bit better. So you hook up your garden hose, and real simple to hook up the wand, tighten it by hand, hook up the other end of the high pressure line, tighten it by hand. Instructions show you a little dip tube, a little fitting there, and that's if you're going to use the lower tank for detergent. The pump again is self-lubricated, but you do have to make sure the water's on. I use a short garden hose. It's only about 10 feet long. Make sure your garden hose is clear. If it's an old hose, run water through it. Make sure there's no contaminant in the water line. Hook the water line up, turn on the water hose. One thing you want to do is make sure that pump's full of water. So you take your wand out and you hold your trigger assembly, and that ensures all the air moves through the hose and you've got water throughout the pump, through all the hoses. So when the engine starts, it has something to pump. Got to pump water. That pump's going to be water cool. So part of that non-serviceable bearing in here, you want the cool water hitting this. You know, just regular old garden hose water's fine, but it keeps that at a reasonable temperature. Spinning the pump with no water moving through it, it's going to give you some overheat. May damage the pump prematurely. A well-made pump could handle that once or twice. We'll see how well made the Champion is. Again, I always follow the instructions. The oil fill is located here. It's interesting. There's 2 oil fills. One has a little dipstick, simple fill, not a lot of oil. Instruction manual calls for 0.6 liters. I put the complete bottle of the Lucas product in there, and that's 473 milliliters. So that's about almost 0.5. So I put that full bottle in and just topped it off with some conventional Castrol 10W30. I measured it out. I want to be thorough. I have exactly 0.6 liters of lowercase lubricating product in there. Again, I use a slightly expensive product, about 20 bucks. Designed for break-in on an engine like this. I can't see how it would ever hurt anything. Hot rods, older engines, stuff that's going to be running in high heat conditions. Has some extra additives to protect the metal at a molecular level. So, might be good advice. So I got my garden hoses all hooked up. I definitely have pressure. I'm not using the soap container right now, but I do have the siphon tube in there. The pump's designed to pull your detergent and mix it with the water as you go. Another cool feature is the quick change knobs. I have a quick connect garden hose. I haven't gotten a fitting for this one yet, but real easy to change the type of pressure wand that you want. Pull back and insert any which knob you want. They give you a little holder. It's actually labeled. 5 different nozzles. Pretty cool. And real simple to change. Just pump that little fitting in. Real simple. It's kind of like an airline in an auto shop, or a lot of garden hoses use them now. So I've got those guys there. Nice and convenient. They give you a little funnel when you're filling the motor oil. And the little funnel, I just real quick took it's a little orange funnel, took a couple zip ties and just hooked it onto the machine. So clean it if I need to use it, but I'll kind of know where that little funnel is. Try to do that, keep the accessories together. Front of the machine, there she is. That's the heart of it. We were talking about the couple things you need to know. The on-off switch, obviously. Helicopter overhead. Well, actually, real interesting biplane. You can see rear horizontal stabilizers. Sounds like radial engines. The other airplane just flew over. That was a skydiving airplane. They fly over the house once in a while. So, on the pressure washer, that's the pull start, but you do need the I/O. Modern switches, it's I/O. I guess I'd call that in, out. In would be on. Call that off or out. Here is the fuel petcock setting. This is the valve that keeps the gas in the tank or lets the gas flow to the engine. So that was in the off position after I filled the tank with good clean gas, non-ethanol, little additive. Turn the fuel on. You pump the throttle once or twice, you know, it's dry out of the box. And then most importantly, the instructions are clearly labeled. Right on the back here is a nice little label that tells you all about the pump and hooking up the hose. It's steps 1 through 7. Basically, hook up all your gear, and most importantly, pull the handle, make sure you got water. Okay, so I followed those instructions 1 through 7, got water in the pump, got that all set up. I know I'm primed, no air in the system. The front of the machine, back to the throttle. You got your typical turtle and rabbit, a lot like a lawnmower. And then everybody knows what a choke is. You got to choke it at first in order to make it happy. As soon as you're running and it's happy, you don't have to choke it anymore. Now, basically, I'm going to turn the throttle on, turn the choke on, turn the ignition on. The machine's ready to start. Should have to hopefully pull the handle just one time. When I first started it, it's dry. There's no gas in the tank. I filled it with oil. Pulled it once or twice and was like, didn't really hit the choke all the way, So it started on the 3rd or 4th try. I'd expect that. So we're going to go ahead and turn the switch on. we'll put the choke on. We may not need the choke now because it has been run, it has warmed up. I followed a basic engine builder's break-in period. Started up, let it run at a normal temperature for a while, creep the idle up, let it run a little bit at a higher idle. Go ahead and activate the pump. That really gets the motor working. Full throttle, activate the pump. Let the engine idle about halfway. I let the engine idle for a little bit just to do a break-in thing that I think is right. So again, choke's on, fuel's on, ignition's on. I'm gonna pull it once, see what it does. Put your foot right there. So probably don't need the choke. Sounds great though. It's got to start and run. Probably don't even need all the gas. Full throttle. Not happy. Down at an idle, runs good. Idle up. We'll turn it off. So the Champion kind of did what I expected it to do. Nice brand new engine. Made sure I followed the manufacturer's steps in getting it ready. Starts right up and runs real good. You know, obviously time will tell. I'm gonna go wash a couple cars. Haven't had a working pressure washer in a while, so a lot of things I could pressure wash. I'm gonna put this to some good use, and we'll see what it does. Maybe I'll you know, throw some feedback back out there after I've run it for a while. Again, the unboxing was real easy. I ordered it on Amazon.com. The box had a couple of little marks in it. It's kind of heavy picking up that box, but now that it's got its wheels and the handle's all set up, it's kind of easy to move around. So far so good. I read a bunch of reviews. I think maybe I made a good purchase. Time will tell, and I'm gonna go do some pressure washing.